Okay, so I'm going to do this whole project again on the CB antenna. I sold my 2015 Silverado and I saved all the mounts and all that stuff, so we're going to put it onto this 2021 Silverado. This one is a four-wheel drive. The 2015 was only two, but most of the stuff looks pretty much the same. As you'll see, I am getting the old mount mounted up here. This was a little tricky. The lip right here on the 2015 was just a little bit smaller than this one. So what I've done so far, and we'll see how it goes, is I purchased some longer bolts so that I could get that inner plate to drop down where it lips in. I can't see because of the sun, but I got it dropped down through there. I'm going to bring it underneath like the other one, and we're going to come through the floor right at this grommet right here. Right there. I'm going to bring it through there, and we're going to weave it up to the front. So the lip on the bed has made this more challenging already, so we'll see. Sorry about that. The spot I was going to drill in was not the right one, so I have drilled a hole, and it is in the one farther back towards the wall right here. I bought the antenna cable has an FME end on it to make it easier to thread through these small spots. So I'm going to be using a let's see, a 3/8 drill bit to get that through. So away we go. Okay, so got the 3/8 hole drilled. There's my cable, and we're going to pull it through here in a second. I don't know if you can see that or not. There it is. That's the FME. Come on, hold the camera in at the same time. Okay. So let me put the camera down so I can pull it through. Okay, after a couple retries, I got it weaved through the underside and up through this hole, the grommet hole. And really, all it does is drop straight down from the antenna there, almost in line. Didn't have to cross over a bunch of stuff, and gives me most usable cable. So, next track is getting it to take and go all the way up to the front and over to where the radio will go. So we got to get it fed through all these spots. Okay, so we got it all in here. You can see where it comes through. I bring it right over here under the raceway for the wiring harness. And I got it going through up to there. And it comes back out through here, continuing along. There, goes under the raceway, wire raceway right here. And the next step is to take and get it behind this panel and over to the center. And I believe I'm going to mount it right here. If I could see, okay, there you go. I'm going to mount it right about there. So let's see what I can get. Okay, so I got the panel pulled off. We're going to run right up through here and across and over. So, be right back. Okay, so we got the wire going up there, coming across, all the way across, over here to the console area, right where the radio is going to be mounting. So I'm not sure if I'm going to try and go behind here, or if I'm just going to bring it through like this. We'll see. And that's it. Let me think this out. Okay, took a breather, and I'm looking things over. So pretty much antenna wires pretty much going where it's going to stay now. I just got to hit a ground from the mount to the body. So there is a ground screw right in the back of that. And I'm going to take this ground wire and we're going to come down here onto the metal body and try and ground it out right about there. Okay, so we're going to resume. Hopefully I'll finish up this install today, but only thing I've done between when I left off and where I'm starting here is I actually mounted the radio today. And I have chosen this spot right here. And I am right now going to work out where I'm going to put the ground and power. I believe I'm going to the fuse panel that's going to be on this side. I'm going to use a micro. Where is it at? This guy here, the little micro, I forget the micro splitter or whatever, but use that, and I got to just find a good ground spot. So let me investigate. Okay, so nothing goes as planned. I have a micro 2 fuse tap, so I could tap into my power supply real easy. It needs a micro 3, and local auto parts stores, they don't have them. So Amazon order, I should have it tomorrow, and hopefully I'll get this thing wired up. I'm going to go ahead and get the antenna grounded, get the antenna back up, and maybe temporarily put it through the cigarette lighter, and we'll be back after that. Okay, so here's where we stand in the project. I have it temporarily plugged into the cigarette lighter. It is permanently mounted. I got the antenna hooked up. We'll show you that in a second. I literally have spent more time running here and there trying to get the little pieces that I needed than I have actually on the project probably. For going from a 2015 Silverado to a 2021 Silverado, I thought this would be a breeze. I'd have it done in an hour, and it's taken me way longer than that. So I had to order the micro 3 fuse tap off of Amazon because nobody carries it after I ran around to different auto parts stores here. So here's where we're going to go. To the spot right over here on the passenger side. Right there. That amp right there, that 10 amp next to the 50. That 10 amp is for the USB. So it is only powered on when the ignition's on, which is what I wanted. So once I have my micro tap, fuse tap, I can take and plug it in there, and we'll get rid of this little deal down here. Back over here, I forgot I had not put any caulking around where the cable comes through, the antenna cable comes through, so I had to pull this back up. Got a little caulking in there drying. We come up over here, we have the antenna, we have the ground wire which goes straight down through here, through here, through here, and without getting under there, I can show you there's actually a hole on the other side of this where I've bolted the ground wire. So we're almost done with the project. Really all I gotta do is get it hardwired, and that's because I don't have the fuse tap. But I'm going with the 102 whip. I've got different antennas. I'm gonna try this one for a while and see how I like it. And since nothing else has worked the way it did on the old Silverado, I bought a new mount. I bought the shorter one. This is a 7-inch, and the one I'm gonna get is only a 4-inch. So that'll bring this down a little lower. So after all that work, I'm just gonna take it back out in another week. So we'll get it done eventually. I'll show you. Well, this project is as complete as I'm gonna be. And I'll tell you, the first Silverado was way faster and easier than this one. I got it hardwired, going up underneath the panel down here, comes across, goes into the fuse block over here. the Micro 3 fuse tap wouldn't fit. So I had to do it the cheesy way. I braided the wire off and pinched it between the fuse when I put the fuse in. But it powers on and off the way I like it. I got the new mount, so it's about 4 inches shorter. If you'll see earlier in the video, you'll see the difference there. What made this such a challenge, and I'm telling you, oh my gosh, I'm going to send Breedlove a email on maybe a modification on the mount for at least the Chevy. I don't know if you can see this. Alright, where are my fingers at? That lip right there. Let me try and get it a little. With the sun, I just can't see if you're seeing this, but right where my finger's at, there's a little lip. And when you look at the mount, let me turn the angle on this. Zoom in. It's about 1/8 of an inch too short. So with that plate, and I'll show you with the old mount. The way this works is this plate goes down and the bed goes in between there and it clamps down. Well, this piece here, if it could go down this way about another 1/8 of an inch, it would fit in there just fine. But it's such a tight squeeze, it made this really difficult. But it's in there. I just don't know how well you can really see what I did. And there you go. Looking inside the bed, that there's the other side of the mount. So that clamps to the bed so it doesn't wobble. So I know that when you look at this, I'm like, wow, that's really close to the glass. My old Silverado wasn't like that. So I got a piece of foam they use for shipping computers and pinched it in between there. Now that thing doesn't really rock. I don't think it's really going to put any pressure on it, but if it should, it's got a little bit of cushion in between it. It was riding fine with the other mount, so hopefully it's not an issue, because otherwise I'm going to be buying a new rear window. Okay, that's going to tie up this project. I am really over this. I don't want to ever do this one again. Okay, out. So I figured I'd include this. Yeah, power up when the car turns on. That's it. So this is really bugging me in that although I thought I was done, I'm not. The wiring's just not clean enough for me. I don't like the antenna cable there the way it is. I was trying to pull this cowling out of here like all the other stuff and it just wouldn't release. So I just said, okay, I'll leave it like that. Well, as I was reviewing my different videos, I saw something that I'm like, ugh, let me show you. Over here on the opposite side, there's a screw. So I'm going to unscrew this thing. Hopefully I can just pull the cowling off, and I'm going to take and put some nice holes in the back of the right up in here, and bring my wires straight down through and into the radio and make it a nice cleaner install. So still got a little more to go. Okay, so I'm hoping this is the final stage here. I need to make sure I apologize because I've looked at the different clips of video I have. Sometimes when I'm out in the sun, I just can't tell what's the camera seeing or not, and so the aim wasn't good. But all in all, I think you'll get the idea of what's going on here. I've removed the center trim panel so that I can run these wires directly out, and as you'll see here, 3, and then that one little screw that was right there that was stopping me from actually doing this until I realized how stupid I was in not seeing the other screw. So I'm going to take and I've got a spot marked on the cowling. I'm going to take and drill one hole, and I bought some grommets, and I'm going to figure out which grommet is going to work the best. I'm going to feed the wires through this so that it comes through nice and clean. Oh, sorry. So you can see, there you go, it's going to come through. So I'm going to try and come through right directly behind the radio. So back in a couple minutes. Okay, so here we go. I used one grommet, the so it's metric M22, along with a 1-inch bit to drill my hole. And I have it up there in the grommet, all coming through nice and clean. I'll get this all nice, make sure it's all snapped back in, and that, I believe, will be it. Be right back. Alrighty, and here we go. Radio's mounted back in. Wires up through that little grommet right there, nice and clean. I'll go over to the other side and take a look. And here from the other side. And I did intentionally leave my inline fuse where I could get to it, so that if something popped the fuse, I would have to go here instead of all the way into the fuse panel. I got that. And just for a reference, this cable right here is actually my USB cable, and I just run that along here up to that phone there. That there is an old phone, it still works, it's a Motorola. Doesn't have a SIM card, but what I do with it is I connect it to the vehicle Wi-Fi. From the vehicle Wi-Fi, once it's connected, I can run Android Auto. So I don't have to keep unplugging and plugging in my everyday phone. So that phone just stays in the car for the most part. And then, as you'll see here, I got a piece of that foam in there. I did that just to snug it up, no gaps, nice and clean. This is the same foam that I used for the antenna. That foam right there. And I have, there you go, now you can see where it's at. I did take the 102 off. I bought a Wilson gumdrop mount. I had the fire stick. This is I think the 5-foot one. I had the fire stick, so I've mounted that up there. And the reason I did that was everywhere I travel, that big 102 was just hitting trees left and right. So I wanted to stop doing that. I wanted to take away from the sorry about that. So I wanted to take away from the possibilities of this bouncing back and forth when the 102 was hitting the trees on the spring. I went ahead and still put the tennis ball on just as a little shock absorber in case. And I believe I'm going to go ahead and get some plastic dip, and I'm probably going to black out the chrome, and I got to get some coax seal. I'm going to coax seal that, and then that'll all be black right through there, and that should take care of it. One thing I did notice without even trying, now that antenna that I just put on there I had in my F-150, so it was tuned to that radio, which was a Cobra or something. I put it in, and using the radio's SWR meter, right away I was getting 1.2 to 1.7 SWR. I can probably tune it more when I feel like I want to fiddle with it. I will, but right now I'm going to leave it alone. So we got good SWR readings, which is really better than what the 102-inch whip was doing. The 102 was definitely a 1.8 to 2.1. So going with a slightly different antenna has actually improved the radio's performance. So there we go. Again, I apologize for the times where the screen just didn't make sense because I couldn't see what I was recording when I was doing it. But I think that is going to wrap it up for this antenna project. I still got more stuff I want to do. I want to de-chrome the truck. I've got a plan for doing that. It's just a matter of time. No rush on that. So there we are. 2021 Silverado with the CB antenna install. It was not as fast a project as I had anticipated, having done a Silverado before. But it's good, and we'll catch you later. So I know I keep by saying, okay, that's all, and really it is all. I just wanted to take hopefully one last shot around it. I went ahead and got the plastic coat, plastic dip, whatever they call it, spray, and blacked out everything that's above. I still got to do the coax seal, but that's minor. I'm not going to do a video clip just for that. Blacked out the tennis ball. So there we go. And now we're in the sun, so I don't know what you're really seeing. I hope this comes out when I look at it later on. But tell you what, for not being a 102 whip, I'm pretty impressed with the fire stick performance without having to take and really do anything to it. So that should do it. Again, I apologize for the scenes where the sun was washing out my screen. I couldn't tell what you were looking at. For my stupidity when I didn't see a screw that would have made this a little faster and easier. Whatever. It's done. I'm happy. Later.